Happy Friday. Welcome to the Friday Experience. My name is Pastor Lawrence Souffrant. I will be your host for the day. Listen, if you haven't already, please join our text group by texting LSMin to 24251. That will give you access to our text group. Also, if you feel led to donate to the ministry, feel free to go to www.lawrencesouffrant.com/ministry, and you will be able to donate there, or you can go to Cash App at Lawsou. That's at LAW. I'm sorry, $ LAWSOU. That's where you go if you're going on Cash App. I want to say happy Sabbath to all of you who believe in the Sabbath, who observe the Sabbath. I want to say happy Friday to those of you who do not. And I don't want to take up too much time, but I do want to have this conversation with you today, or at least engage in this subject matter, because the Grammys was recently, and during the Grammys, there was a performance by the guy named Sam Smite, I believe was his name. You are free to correct me if I'm wrong. The artist Sam Smite decided to do a performance, or was invited rather, to do a performance during the Grammys. And at that time, when he did his performance, Sam Smith, thank you. Sam Smith was his name. He has a hit song, I believe it's even entitled Unholy, but I don't really follow the new trend of music nowadays. I'm a 90s 2000 kind of guy, right? But Sam Smith was invited to perform at the Grammys, and during his performance, or I should say his performance was very shocking to the Christian community specifically, but it was shocking to the community at large. Many people had things to say in regards to his performance, primarily because his performance dealt with him presenting himself as a devil, if I'm not mistaken, or at least what we would generally consider would be the devil. In other words, he presented himself in the commercialized version of the devil, and that got a lot of people uncomfortable. I say it got people uncomfortable, and I would say rightfully so, because there isn't really much context to suggest when it is ever appropriate to use demonic symbolism, whether it's in your performance or even whether it's trolling. I'm going to show you a picture of what he looked like during his performance, at least one of the pictures. And with this style of artistry, if you can call it art, it got many people in an uproar, because what they're arguing is this is blatant worship, devil worship, blatant devil worship. What they're arguing is this is in fact obvious that there is in fact no question. There is no question that this man is paying tribute to the devil. I want to show you another picture, if technology will allow me to, where it is absolutely no question that he is in fact playing the devil and playing tribute, or at least paying tribute to the devil. And for those of us who believe in the one true God, and those of us specifically who believe in the work of the Messiah, I can understand how this type of imagery can be alarming. They're now saying, many people, even non-Christians, are saying that they are making devil worship obvious in 2023. And so I thought that it would be fitting to have a conversation about exposing the devil in 2023, because my perspective of things is that the devil has always been obvious. I don't think the devil is any more clear today than Satan was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or even 30 years ago. In the scriptures, you read Jesus saying that the enemy comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And so I thought the devil made himself obvious when they decided to kidnap Africans and bring them to this land and force them into slavery. I thought the devil was obvious when there was an attack, in fact, in the family unit, in which parents feel that it's better to be single than to find ways to cooperate with a partner. I thought the devil was obvious when we see capitalism robbing people of their resources, their love, and their joy. I thought the devil was obvious when music glorifies everything except being a righteous, upstanding person. I thought the devil was obvious when hate was being promoted, when we see police gunning down black men in the streets. For me, the devil has been obvious. What I've learned is in 2023 is not that the devil is being obvious, but rather people have been tricked and even bamboozled to be afraid of an imaginary picture of the devil. They're more afraid of red horns than they are of racism. They're more offended by the pictures that the liar has convinced us is the devil than they are of the reality of the enemy. The truth of the matter is the devil has been in many people's homes, has been in many people's workforce, has been in many people's relationships. The devil has been stealing, killing, and destroying your love, your joy, your peace, your sense of security. The devil was made obvious during the pandemic when they tried to rob us of our freedoms and create fear tactics to make us afraid of loving and interacting with each other. The devil has been obvious for years. I've only been on this earth for over 30 years, and since I could remember consciousness, I knew the devil was real. I knew the devil was real even while I'm in school and having to deal with bullies and having to deal with people stealing our things and the threat of being met with violence if not complied to the demands of a few. I've always known that the devil was real when he convinced me to join a lifestyle that only leads to death and to prison. I knew the devil was real when I saw so many of my friends who are women finding themselves in relationships that never led to love, but led to lifetime responsibilities. For me, the devil has been obvious. And tonight, I don't want to be long, but I do think it's important that we are reminded as to how we can recognize the devil. Because the scriptures say that that Satan comes as an angel of light. In fact, if we really want to expose the devil has a way of appearing as beautiful, but what he offers only leads to burden and despair. If we're going to be honest about exposing the devil, I can tell you that the devil finds his way into people's lives lives by wrapping himself in a cloth of Christianity or in a cloth of Islam or in a cloth of any spirituality. He uses words that sound good, but when you observe the nature and the content of what is being exposed or what is being expressed, we realize that it leads to nothing more than death or theft or even destruction. And so I'm wondering why we would get offended by someone who is dressed up in red and has thorns on his head. And yes, it appears as if there are demons all around them, but yet we're not offended when we are constantly being subjected to unhuman restraints. It's funny to me that people are more offended with the imagery than the reality. I think a lot of us are getting comfortable with sleeping with the devil because I can have conversation with you about how a particular activity is robbing you, literally stealing you, stealing the peace out of you, stealing the sane out of you. And people would argue back with me about how it's nothing but entertainment, how it's nothing but fun. And I'm trying to understand how it's fun to experience anxiety. I don't quite understand how it's fun to experience depression. I don't know how it is fun to lack peace. People are up stressing day and night about how they're living their lives, and yet they would never call the devil out for his name, saying that it's fun. And I'm not saying the activity itself is the devil. What I am saying is that the devil is somehow using these activities, and instead of turning away, recognizing, oh, this is Satan, people are consistently engaging with the devil. They only have a problem if the devil makes himself obvious. Say yes if you're with me. And so the reality is the devil has always been obvious to me. I've been watching how men and women have been fighting with one another on social media as if we don't need one another in order to continue this human existence. I find people literally fighting with one another about political ideologies as if somehow whatever political party you are a part of really influences the way that we interact with one another. I find people judging each other based off of such surface things, and they would overlook the greater things. I've known pastors to get a pass because they're pastors, even if what they do and what they say is demonic. And I've seen people who are as righteous as Noah or as righteous as Enoch get overlooked simply because they don't present themselves in a way that makes you comfortable. You find somebody full of tattoos and you assume that they're of the devil, yet they would be the one that would stick closer to you than a brother. And then you find somebody in a nice three-piece suit, well groomed, and you trust them with your finances only to find out that they're robbing you blind. The devil has always been obvious. I don't think we know what the devil looks like, primarily because we are expecting to see the devil as an image instead of recognizing that the devil is in fact the spirit. Yes, some of you, you've been battling with devils for a long time, but you are hesitant to call it the devil. Many of you are procrastinating on your dreams and your visions. You're procrastinating on your purpose, and yet somehow you don't seem to call procrastination the devil. Many of you are distracting yourself from your relationships and your advancement, and yet you don't call the distraction the devil. I'm here to let you know on this Friday night that the devil has been in social media, that the devil has been in our schools, that the devil has been in our worship centers, that the devil has been in our food, that the devil has been in our entertainment, that the devil has always been obvious. And the devil doesn't look like a red man with horns. Rather, to make it very simple, we can recognize the devil whenever we find ourselves out of peace when we're striving towards righteousness. Let's get into this conversation. Let's talk about it today, because the truth of the matter is many of you are so focused on seeing the devil when you really should be focused on looking to righteousness. Yeah. I said it. See, your focus is not in righteousness, because if you focused on righteousness, you might have to give up some of the things that you find very comforting. If you focus on righteousness, you might have to give up on some of the things that you find entertaining. If you focus on righteousness, you might not be able to participate in all the things that society calls important. Yeah. When you focus on righteousness, when you're looking towards the light, the darkness is always obvious. Somebody say obvious. And I refuse to believe that a performance at an award show is what now lets you realize that the devil is real. I refuse to believe that, because there's enough within your own circle to let you know that the devil is real. Many of you cannot admit to the reality of the devil, because it might mean that you have to break up with the. Hold on. Yeah. You don't want to admit to the reality of the devil, because that means you might have to end some relationships that you have with some people. You think that's your friend, but really that person that you're clinging to is nothing more than the devil. It's hard to admit that the devil is obvious, because then you might have to change your lifestyle. Many of you, you must ask yourself this question. It's so simple. If you think being satanic is wearing red clothes and drinking blood, I'm gonna let you know something. If the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy, then whatever you're participating in that is destroying your body is the devil. Y'all not hearing me? Whatever fashion trend you're participating in that destroys you as a person or a human being is the devil. Whatever foods you're eating that destroys you in your body and in your soul, that is the devil. Whatever activity you're participating in that is destroying you, it's the devil. And I think for many of us, we think it's not the devil because the destruction comes slow. But even though it comes slow, that doesn't mean it's not sure. Hallelujah. Somebody needs to say ouch to that one. The reality is, though the destruction might be moving at a slower pace, it doesn't mean the path in which you are choosing is ending in destruction. So am I here to tell you that if you're not living perfect, then automatically you're living of the devil? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not here to say that the only way to righteousness is perfection, but I will say this: the only way to righteousness is intention. Hold on. You can't accidentally be righteous. Y'all not hearing me? Righteousness is a choice. Righteousness considers the outcome of the action, considers the outcome of the participation, considers the outcome of what I'm doing. And some of you are doing things without intention and you find yourself lost. Yeah, the devil doesn't mind tricking you into depression. The devil doesn't mind tricking you into anxiety. The devil doesn't mind tricking you into outrighteous anger. The devil doesn't mind tricking you into suicidal thoughts. The devil doesn't mind tricking you into anything that will steal, kill, or destroy you. But righteousness says you need to make a choice. Y'all not with me? Righteousness says you have to choose what you're doing. In other words, in order to be righteous, you have to be intentional. And in order to be intentional, you have to be educated. Y'all need to hear what I'm saying. You have to know something in order to be intentional. In other words, if you're choosing to remain ignorant on certain things, guess what? Guess what? You're not. When you choose to be ignorant, listen to what I'm saying, because there's so much misinformation. And if we're going to be completely honest, a lot of us are comfortable with just participating in whatever traditions we were taught. It's too much work to consider the darkness that was passed down to us. Ooh. Somebody say ouch. Say ouch. It's too much work to consider the darkness that was passed down to us. Because then we have to consider that maybe our parents didn't know it all. Maybe our elders didn't know it all. Maybe they knew whatever they knew, and now it is our responsibility to take society to the next level. But it's so much easier to just continue down the path of tradition than it is to be a trailblazer. Yeah, I know sometimes when we choose to be righteous, we find ourselves in isolation, but I'd rather be isolated on God's side than popular with the devil. Yeah. A lot of you, a lot of us, let me include myself, a lot of us, we find ourselves thinking we're wrong simply because nobody supports us. Yeah, we find ourselves second guessing it. And it's so crazy to me how easy it is for Christians to be offended by imagery when they could learn about the homeless issues in their cities and feel no type of compassion. They can learn about the poverty in their city and feel no type of compassion. It's interesting how Christians specifically, but I'm talking about spiritual people as a whole, but how Christians specifically, they get so offended if somebody says Jesus isn't real, and yet they haven't even been a real Jesus in their community. No one can see the light because they're so focused on getting theirs and getting comfortable. And I'm not saying you have to live a life that is a martyr. I'm not saying that you have to destroy yourself in order to save somebody else. What I am saying is, how can you be offended by an image when the reality is all around you and you feel nothing? How many of us are comfortable watching domestic violence on television, but we call it reality TV? And yet we don't seem to call that the devil. As if the way that they treat each other, the way that they beat on each other, the way that they dishonor their relationship, I think the devil is obvious. I think many of us are choosing to be ignorant, and we get this self-righteous vindication by getting upset by what seems to be obviously the devil. Yeah. We get this self-righteousness by debating this celebrity is Illuminati and that celebrity is selling their soul, but we never consider how we sold our families for a paycheck. We never consider how we're selling our health for money. We never consider how we're participating with the devil, who is so obvious. So I'm not one who believes that we should be devil watching. Let me say that again. Let me say that again. I'm not one who believes that we should be devil watching. I don't think watching the devil is going to give you any sense of joy. I don't think watching the devil is going to give you any sense of peace. I don't think watching the devil is going to give you any sense of love. What I've learned is the more you gaze your eyes on what you think is demonic, the more paranoid you become of demonic activity. And that's because where energy goes, energy flows. That which you pay attention to, you're also inviting into your life. Somebody needs to receive this word. I'm about to unlock something in you right now. You are inviting the demonic activity simply because you're hyper focused on it. I believe we should know what the devil looks like so that when we see the devil, we can either go the other way or we can fight through. Listen to what I need y'all to hear what I'm saying, because sometimes I don't have to go through the devil. Sometimes I just have to choose another path. And for many of us, it's because the other path seems to be longer, or the other path seems to be more difficult, or the other path seems to be more uncomfortable, that we try to fight demons that we have no business fighting. Oh man, if I had time, because I don't want to be long, but I could tell you about how in the scriptures, when Israel was first delivered, that when the Most High, according to the scriptures, the Most High saw warfare down a quicker path, and the Most High said, I'm going to take them around it because the warfare might cause them to lose heart in their deliverance. And some of you, you're exhausted because you're fighting demons you had no intentions fighting. You had no business fighting. These demons were not your fight, but you were so focused on what looked good to you. You were so focused on what looked right to you that you went head first into some demonic activity only to find out that they about to wear you out. Some of you, you should have taken the long way because the long way was a better way. The long way was a sure way. But because of instant gratification, you walked right into destruction and you don't even realize it. Y'all not hearing me? Some of you, Holy Ghost. Some of you, the truth is, some of you are just outright lazy. Outright lazy. And you never considered that maybe that laziness is a part of the devil's plan. Yeah, no, I don't believe in watching the devil. I believe in recognizing the devil. I believe in knowing when the devil shows up so I can either go the other way or fight through. There are some instances, let me be clear. There are some instances where there is no other way. Sometimes you got to look the devil in the face and say, in the name of Jesus, you got to go. Sometimes you have to engage in spiritual warfare. Sometimes you have to fight because there is no getting around it. Sometimes you have to be prepared to put your fist up, get in your stance, and get ready to punch the devil in the face. Because one thing I learned when it comes to me as a child of God, the devil is all bark and no bite. Y'all not hearing me? The devil looks like he hits hard, but when God empowers me, when God says, this is the way I need you to go, then I could look the devil in the face and I can say, yeah, devil, I see you, but if you don't get up out my way, I'm ooh. Some of you giving that energy to the wrong person. Some of that anger, some of that aggression, you're supposed to be giving that to the devil. And once again, let me be clear, for those of you tuning in a little late, not this guy, not this red figure with the horns, not that guy. He's a distraction. He's a distraction. He's the misdirection. That's not the devil. How real can I get tonight? I need to know how real I can get tonight, because I might say some things that might make you feel away, but it's for your good. It's for love. I promise it's for love. It's to uplift you. How real can I get tonight? Because let me be honest. Some of you, can I talk to the men just for a little bit? For the men who are watching, because I know about this devil. Some of you men, you've been afraid. You've been afraid to go get checked by the doctor, by a therapist, by a counselor, by a financial advisor. You've been afraid to go get checked because you're not ready to fight that devil. You don't want to find out about the force that's trying to destroy you. You'd rather just let it destroy you and put your head in the sand than get yourself checked out. You don't want to step on that scale, or you don't want to try on that outfit, right? You don't want to go to the doctor. You rather just put your head in the sand. You don't want to find out that high blood pressure is destroying you. You don't want to find out that high cholesterol is destroying you. You don't want to find out that prostate cancer might be destroying you. You don't want to find out that you've been depressed your whole life. You don't want to find out that you've been suffering with anxiety. I'm talking to the brothers now, right? You've been afraid to hear that devil by its name and fight through. You've been afraid, but I'm here to tell you right now, if you really want to be the man that God intended for you to be, sometimes you have to learn how to look that devil in the face. And say, you won't have victory over my life. You won't have victory over my children's life. You won't have victory over my relationship. You won't have victory over my finances. Let me talk to the women. Huh? Can I talk to the women? Y'all not going to get mad at me? Y'all not going to get mad at me? Some of my sisters, you're not willing to really acknowledge that you're more hurt and more broken than you think you are. You don't want to look that brokenness in the face. So you're looking for somebody to cater to your trauma when your trauma is something that you can have victory over. You don't want to be honest about what's going on in your spirit. And I get it, because society tries to convince you that if there's something wrong, then you're nobody. If there's something wrong, then you're useless. If there's something wrong, then no one should pay attention to you. If there's something wrong, then you're not worthy of love. But can I tell you something? Society has never really been on God's side. And so when society tries to convince you that you're useless because you're going through something, sometimes you got to look society in the face and say, devil, I will fight you one-on-one. And it ain't even one-on-one. Can I be honest? When it comes to demonic activity in the kingdom, we jump in the devil. Somebody say jump the devil. I need y'all to hear. That's why I always talk about community, because you think you're supposed to fight the devil one-on-one. No, we going to gang up. The scripture say I got a host of angels on my side. I don't fight no devil one-on-one. Are you crazy? The devil will be stupid if he thinks I'm going to fight him one. No, I got angels on my side. I got brothers and sisters on my side. We going to fight you. We going to jump. Somebody say jump the devil. That's why the enemy tries to get you in isolation, so you really feel like you're alone. But even if you're by yourself in the flesh, you're never by yourself in the spirit. God is already dwelling in you, and that should be enough for you. But if for whatever reason that doesn't give you the courage to fight that devil, I want you to know that there's hosts of angels that have your back. Their only assignment, listen to me, because when I talk about these angels, I need you to hear what I'm saying. There are angels where their only assignment right now is to make sure you're good. Somebody needs to receive that right now. Somebody just get that in your spirit. I don't care what your faith tradition is. I don't care what your religion is called or what your spiritual system is called. I want you to understand that the Creator is so good, that the Creator loves you so much, that there are angels, there are spiritual beings where their only assignment is to make sure that you're good. All day and all night, all they're doing is fighting by your side. Somebody ought to say yes. Somebody ought to say thank you. I'm so glad that even when I feel defeated, when I find myself feeling weak, there are angels that keep fighting for me until I get the strength to get back up. That's why the scriptures say a righteous man falls 7 times and gets back up, because in the times when we are in our weakest, there are angels, hallelujah, that are fighting on our behalf. There are angels that are fighting for our victory. There are angels that are assigned solely to see us win. Hallelujah. We jump in the devil. All 2023, we jump in the devil. All 20. As a matter of fact, when we get off this, I want you to text somebody. I want you to text them, hey, you may not get what I'm saying, but I need you to help me jump the devil. Oh, yes. We're going to get our armies together at the end of this. We're going to text somebody, hey, help me jump the devil. I need you to pray about this. I need you to pray about that. What do you need me to pray for? Hey, help me jump the devil. I'm about to fast about this and about that. What you need me to fast for? We're going to jump the devil. We're going to jump. All right, so yeah, I'm not into watching the devil. And I refuse to allow the media to get believers riled up about this fake devil here. Yeah, Sam Smith, he might be doing a tribute to Satan. He could be getting involved in whatever he's getting involved in. Guess what? Doesn't concern me. Doesn't concern me, because I'm a child of the light. I'm a child of the light. And I know the devil. He's obvious to me. I recognize when he's trying to destroy. He's obvious. I don't got to even worry about that. When I see the devil, I'm either going to go another way or I'm going to just fight right through. Look, I'm going to always follow the creator. I'm always going to go in the way that the creator tells me to go. So if the creator tells me, hey, this is not a fight you got to worry about, go another way, then I'm going to go another way. I'm not going to let my ego, can I say it another way? I'm not going to let my righteousness raise pride in my spirit. Let me talk to some of you. I said I'm not going to be long, but I got to say this because I feel it in my spirit. Some of you, you're so righteous that you take on demonic assignments that's not your business. Huh? Come on. Somebody got to say, ouch. You're so righteous. You're so filled with the Spirit of God that you step outside of the assignment of God. You you try to be a superhero in a story that's not yours. The creator is like, look, you are filled with my spirit, and that's for a purpose I intend for you. But you try to use this righteousness as a crutch or an excuse to get involved in things that's really none of your business. Why is it that some righteous people have a hard time just minding their own business? That assignment is not yours. And if you're spending time with God, God will reveal to you, hey, I need you to do this. You know how many people I know? Come on, Holy Ghost, convict them now. Convict me too. There's things that you're supposed to get done, but you haven't got it done because you're so caught up on everything else that's good, but it ain't right for you. Yeah, you're supposed to have been wrote that book, but you were so busy saving your community that you never sat down long enough to write the book that the creator Ben told you to write. Come on, who am I talking to? There's work that you were supposed to been do. There were phone calls you were supposed to been make. You ain't make them. Have all types of good reasons. Yeah, you was being a good wife. You was being a good sister. You was being a good mother. You was being a good neighbor. But you wasn't being a good child of God because when God had asked you to do some things, you put it all in the back burner for other righteous activity. Don't allow your righteousness to be your distraction, and don't allow your righteousness to bring up pride in you that you get involved in everybody else's stuff. Can I talk about this? Look, I don't know if I'm live on the TV, but just in case I am, I'm going to talk about my daughter who I love dearly. Baby girl, I love you. Me and my queen, we'd ask her to do something. And she'll be so concerned about what her siblings are doing that she's correcting everybody else's activity and behavior. And while she's correcting, she's also neglecting the very instruction we gave her. Y'all not hearing me. And so while it's good that she's concerned about what her siblings are getting themselves into, it would be better if she focused on the assignment that we assigned her. And then if she was to complete her assignment in a righteous time and there's time left to correct her brothers and her sisters, then by all means, go ahead and let them know you should be doing better. You should be doing this. Mom told you to do that. Dad told you to do this. Yeah, you should do that after you've been obedient in completing the instruction that we gave. And so it is with some of us. We have a clear, and I'm only talking to those that have clear instruction. Somebody say clear instruction. Some of you, God ain't tell you to do nothing yet, and so you do your best. You just keep living life the best that you know how. So it's all right. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking to those where God gave them clear instruction. And instead of being obedient to the clear instruction, they're occupying their time with good things, but not the God things for them. Yeah. That is who I'm talking to. You know who you are. The devil is very obvious. The devil doesn't mind if you're doing good works as long as you're not obeying God. That's all the devil's concerned. Y'all ain't catch that. Hold on. That's why morality doesn't automatically mean spirituality. I'm getting a little deep tonight. Yeah, the devil's not concerned about you doing good works. Devil just wants to make sure you're not focused on God, because in God there's life and life more abundantly. So the devil say, well, yeah, I'll just distract them from what God said, have them just do whatever. He's okay with that. He's okay because he knows that in your disobedience comes destruction. And not in the eternal sense. I know everybody's so scared of hell. Ooh, hell. Now, I'm not talking about that. I'm a believer of the Messiah. The blood is sufficient. I'm not concerned about that. I'm talking about destruction here on earth that you didn't have to go through. I'm talking about where you would have had more peace had you just been obedient. Where you would have had a little more resources, a little more money had you been obedient. You might have actually found love had you been obedient. Yeah. You might have reached the status that you're looking for had you actually been obedient. And so you're destroying yourself doing good things, but not the God things for you. Yeah, no, the devil is obvious. Once you realize he comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and once you realize getting your eyes off of the creator leads to destruction, then the devil becomes so obvious. And so the obvious solution to the obvious devil is to stay connected to your creator. How do you do that? Well, you got to pray, you got to fast. Yes, you got to do all those things, but you got to be intentional within your spirit and your being. Every day, you should be a little more committed to what the creator is saying. So sometimes you got to turn off the sermon to turn on the spirit. Sometimes you have to get out of the community so that you can really see what the creator is asking you to do. Sometimes you have to be isolated in God so that you can be filled with God. So when you step back out into the world, you're focused and ready to do everything God intended for you. But it starts with intention. I'll put it this way. If you're praying, God, I don't want to go to hell. God, I'm tired of being depressed. God, I'm tired of being anxious. God, I just don't want to have to suffer every day, right? That's a good place to start. But I want you to end your prayers with some affirmation. God, I'm ready for my peace. God, I'm ready for my love. God, I'm ready to walk in the ways that you intend. God, I'm ready to be obedient. Let's end our prayers with the affirmative. Because forget about what you're trying to avoid. We're not devil watching. Focus on what you're actually trying to do. God, I want a closer relationship with you. What does that look like? And you let the Spirit tell you. You let the Spirit reveal to you. And for you, it might be something that you like to do. It doesn't mean the activity is bad. It simply means the activity is a distraction. That's the obvious devil in your life. God might have you cut off some family members. Doesn't mean that the family member is bad. It means that family member is a distraction. And that's an obvious devil. God might tell you to change your diet. It doesn't mean the food you was eating before is bad. It just means the food that you was eating before was a distraction, was a form of destruction. It's an obvious devil. So you go to God with intention. And yes, you can study scripture. Yes, I support that. Yes, you can advise, you can go for wise counsel and godly counsel. Yes, I support that. But all of that doesn't matter if you don't take a spiritual posture of being obedient to what the creator is saying. Can we get down to the nitty gritty of it all? We can expose the devil all day. And you can be right about every devil you see out in society. But if you're not walking in alignment with the creator, then you haven't yet recognized the devil that's within you. It's that simple. Sam Smith or whatever other celebrity you want to name does not compare to the devil that you're fighting within yourself. That's the first devil, and I would even say the only devil you need to defeat. And you don't defeat the devil by focusing on the devil. You defeat the devil by focusing on God and getting the strength of the creator in you. So we're going to wrap up. Actually stayed longer than I anticipated. But we're going to wrap up with everybody to close their eyes. And I want you to start declaring and affirming yourself. Affirm yourself. Say, I am a child of God. The light is always more powerful than darkness. I will keep my eyes gazed on the one who created me. I have submitted my spirit to the one who has given me life. I am more than a conqueror. I will not engage in unnecessary battles, but every battle I must fight, I fight from a place of victory. Affirm that over your life every day if you have to, and watch yourself be blessed. God bless you all. Peace.